So we go on to Srimad Bhagavatam class today. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jashodanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari Jamunatira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. Jayong Vishnupad Paramhansha Parivrajaka Charjo Ashtuttar Shato Shri Srimad Abhay Charanaravindra Bhakti Vedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnav Vrinda ki jai. Namacharya Shila Haridas Thakur ki jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Shyam Kunda Radha Kunda Giri Govardhan ki jai. Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan Lalita Vishakha Devi ki jai. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki jai. Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsimha Dev ki jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai. Grantharaj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Shamaveta Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gaurango. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatta Deshutamine. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naranchaiva Narottamam Deving Sarasating Vyasam Tato Jaya Mudiraya. Nashtaprayeshu abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki. Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th Canto, Chapter 22nd, Prithu Maharaja's meeting with the Kumaras. We have selected some special verses for these classes because selected some verses relevant to the topics that we are going to discuss for next few days. And our topics are always Srimad Bhagavatam, speaking the glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhagavan. There are many scriptures, but of all the scriptures, the topmost is Srimad Bhagavatam. The Vedas are giving different instructions. In the topic of our Brihad Bhagavatamrita seminar, we will see that how the scriptures have arguments among themselves. Because all the scriptures do not speak about the same conclusion. There are scriptures that are relative to mode of ignorance, scriptures that are relative to mode of passion, scriptures relative to mode of goodness. But all the scriptures speak about the relevant issues, relevant objectives, relevant goals. But the ultimate goal is the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that is the scripture, that point that has been indicated is by Srimad Bhagavatam. Srimad Bhagavatam Pramanam Amalam. The supreme objective has been established by Srimad Bhagavatam. So, anyway, so we will discuss about that. Sa Shraddhaya Bhagavad Dharma Charjaya Jiggasadhatmaka. Okay, let's break it. Jiggasa.
You have the wrong verse up there.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to 22. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. So actually it's 21 is today's verse. Śāstreṣu iyān eva su-niścitaḥ nṛṇāṁ kṣemasya sadhryag-vimṛśeṣu vimṛśeṣu hetuḥ asaṅga ātma-vyatirikta ātmani dṛḍhā ratir brahmaṇi nirguṇe ca ya śāstreṣv eva suniścito śāstreṣv eva suniścito nṛṇāṁ kṣemasya sadhryag-vimṛśeṣu hetuḥ kṣemasya sadhryag-vimṛśeṣu hetuḥ asaṅga ātma-vyatirikta ātmani dṛḍhā ratir brahmaṇi nirguṇe chaya. Dṛḍhā ratir brahmaṇi nirguṇe chaya. śāstreṣv su-niścito nṛṇāṁ. kṣemasya sadhryag-vimṛśeṣu hetuḥ. asaṅga ātma-vyatirikta ātmani. dṛḍhā ratir brahmaṇi nirguṇe chaya. śāstreṣv su-niścito nṛṇāṁ. kṣemasya sadhryag-vimṛśeṣu hetuḥ. asaṅga ātma-vyatirikta ātmani. dṛḍhā ratir brahmaṇi nirguṇe chaya. śāstreṣv su-niścito nṛṇāṁ. kṣemasya sadhryag-vimṛśeṣu hetuḥ.
ātma-vyatirikta ātmani.
ātma-vyatirikta ātmani.
dṛḍhā ratir brahmaṇi nirguṇe.
śāstreṣu su-niścito nṛṇāṁ.
Matajis, śāstreṣu in the scriptures, iyān eva. This is only su-niścitaḥ, positively concluded, nṛṇāṁ, of human society, kṣemasya, of the ultimate welfare, sadhryag, perfectly, vimṛśeṣu, by full consideration, hetuḥ, cause, asaṅga, detachment, ātma-vyatirikte, the bodily concept of life, ātmani, unto the Supreme Soul, dṛḍhā, strong, ratir, attachment, brahmaṇi, transcendence, nirguṇe, in the Supreme, who is beyond the material modes, cha, and ya, which. Translation by His Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. It has been conclusively decided in the scriptures, after due consideration, that the ultimate goal for the welfare of human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life and increased and steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental beyond the modes of material nature. Please repeat after me. It has been conclusively decided in the scriptures, after due consideration, that the ultimate goal for the welfare of human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life and increased and steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental beyond the modes of material nature. Purport by Srila Prabhupada. Everyone in human society is engaged for the ultimate benefit of life, but persons who are in the bodily conception cannot achieve the ultimate goal, nor can they understand what it is. The ultimate goal of life is described in Bhagavad Gita 2:59. Param drishtva nivartante. When one finds out the supreme goal of life, he naturally becomes detached from the bodily concept. Here in this verse, the indication is that one has to steadfastly increase attachment for the transcendence brahmaṇi, as confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra 1.1.1, Athato Brahma Jigyasa. Without inquiry about the Supreme or the transcendence, one cannot give up attachment for this material world. By the evolutionary process in 8,400,000 species of life, one cannot understand the ultimate goal of life because in all those species of life, the bodily conception is very prominent. Athato Brahma Jigyasa means that in order to get out of the bodily conception, one has to increase attachment to or inquiry about Brahman. Then he can be situated in the transcendental devotional service. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. To increase attachment for Brahman means to engage in devotional service. Those who are attached to the impersonal form of Brahman cannot remain attached for very long. Impersonalists are, after rejecting this world as mithya or false, Jagan Mithya, come down again to this Jagan Mithya, although they take sannyas to increase their attachment for Brahman. Similarly, many yogis who are attached to the localized aspect of Brahman or Paramatma, great sages like Vishwamitra also fall down as victims of women. Therefore, increased attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead is advised in all Shastras. That is the only way of detachment from material existence and is explained in Bhagavad Gita 2:59 as Param Drishta Nivartante. One can cease material activities when he actually has the taste for devotional service. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also recommended love of Godhead as the ultimate goal of life, Prema Pumartha Mahan. Without increasing love of Godhead, one cannot achieve the perfectional stage of transcendental position. Om ajnana-timirandhasya jnananjana shalakaya chakshurunmilitam yena tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya manobhishtam sthapitam jena bhutale swayam rupa kada mahyam dadati swapadantikam. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Śāstreṣvyan eva su-niścito nṛṇāṁ kṣemasya sadhryag-vimṛśeṣu hetuḥ asaṅga ātma-vyatirikta ātmani dṛḍhā ratir brahmaṇi nirguṇe iyān. It has been conclusively decided in the scriptures, after due consideration, that the ultimate goal for the welfare of human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life and increased and steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord, who is transcendental beyond the modes of material nature. So, this chapter is describing Prithu Maharaj meeting the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras, actually outside is too loud. Pigs. The Hindi translation can be little more down. So, Prithu Maharaj was performing a sacrifice, and at that time the four Kumaras appeared there. The four Kumaras are the four sons of Brahma, the first four sons of Brahma. They appeared from Brahma's mind. Brahma is the first created personality in this universe, and his first children are these four Kumaras. And Brahma actually wanted his children to help him in his activity of creation. Brahma was alone in order to activate this material nature. Brahma needed other living entities. So Brahma created his first four sons, expecting that they would help him in his mission to the secondary creation. And that creation actually involves giving living entities, the spirit souls, bodies, material bodies. And getting involved in these materialistic activities. So when Brahma told his sons about his expectation, they declined. They said, no, we are not interested in this mundane activities. And they became detached right from the beginning of their appearance. They are the first, they were the first personalities to appear in this world, but they look just like 5-year-old children, even now. They're, in a way, they're the oldest personalities after Brahma. It has been described there even before Lord Shiva's appearance, even before the other Prajapati's appearance, but they look just like 4 children, and they are so innocent because of their detachment from everything, because their consciousness is not at all in this material nature. They don't even feel the need to cover themselves. They move around naked. So, but they are the oldest personalities, they are the wisest personalities. And the oldest one of them, 4 of them, is Sanat Kumar. And then other 3 are Sanak, Sanatan and Sanandan. So they came to Prithu Maharaj. Prithu Maharaj became very excited seeing them. Now here we can see also Prithu Maharaj is an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But here he is acting like a king and he is establishing the standard. So as soon as Prithu Maharaj saw these 4 Kumaras, he offered obeisances. Little children. And he is the king, very powerful king. Offered obeisances to them. And as wise people always do, when they come across a saintly personality, they always ask questions pertaining to spiritual topics. And his question was that, what's the goal of life? What should we do? So this is how we also see when you come across spiritual personalities, how should we approach and what should we do? No mundane topic should be asked, no mundane question. The transcendental topic should be discussed in the association. What is the goal of life? Like this is what we find in Srimad Bhagavatam. The questions are always pertaining to, like we find the sages in Naimisharanya, when they came across Sutta Goswami, what was their question? Kali Yuga is approaching, people will become very much afflicted by this age, so what should be done for their welfare? When Parikshit Maharaj came across Sukadeva Goswami, what was his question? Within a short time I am going to die. What should I do now? Similarly, when Vidura came across Maitreya Rishi, what was his question? What should be done? What should we do? What is the goal of life? Even though we know that, still we must ask. That is the culture. Prithu Maharaj knew, even Narad Muni, he is the teacher, he is the guru of everyone. But he is also asking questions. And this is the culture of, this is the spiritual culture. Satang prashangan mama birja samvido bhavanti ritkarna rasayana katha. Satang prashangan, in the association of devotees, very powerful discussions about my activities and qualities are discussed. Very powerful topic. And as a result of that, what happens? Tajjoshanadasu apavarga-ātmani. One becomes free from material attachments. So here also we are seeing. As a result of that, the questions, what is Sanat Kumar's answer? He is actually discussing about that. He is instructing. It has been conclusively decided in the scriptures after due consideration. What has been decided? How many of you remember what was decided? The ultimate goal for the welfare of human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life. Detachment from the bodily concept of life. When the sadhus come, sadhus by business is not to increase your material attachment, but make you detached from your material attachments. And how does it happen? That detachment doesn't happen automatically. Otherwise, this bond, the attachment to the body, is very, very powerful and very strong. It can happen only by developing our attachment to the transcendence. There is another world which is beyond this material nature. Transcend. Transcend means going beyond. When you go beyond this material nature, there is another nature, another reality. And that is the spiritual reality. That's why it's called transcendental. Transcendental reality. So when we become attached to that reality, then we become detached from this nature. When you get a higher taste, then only we can give up the lower taste. Otherwise, if we don't get the higher taste, there is no possibility to give up the lower taste, because that is the highest taste that we know. The material enjoyment has some taste. Therefore, people are running after that. This taste for this material enjoyment is so strong that people even give up their lives. We can see in the history of this world, so many wars have been fought for the sake of a beautiful woman. Kingdoms have been destroyed. Millions of people died just because of the attachment to a woman. The famous is the Iliad that Homer used to speak. The Western epic, Iliad. The Helen of Troy. A beautiful woman, one prince became attracted to that woman. She was already married to the king, and he had an illicit relationship, and as a result of that, he eloped her. The result of that, there was a big war, and so many people died. And the kingdom was destroyed completely. Why? Just because of mundane attachment, which leads to sexual pleasure. Just for that momentary pleasure, people can give up their lives, give up everything. So there is some taste. And therefore, because they don't have any other taste, therefore they cannot give up this attachment. Therefore, the only way that one can be able to give up that attachment is by getting the higher taste. And the higher taste is attachment to Krishna. Bhakti parishanubhava viraktir annatracha. When one gets the higher taste of bhakti, when one develops the attachment to the Supreme Personality of Godhead through devotional service, then viraktir, disgust. That's what happens. One becomes disgusted with this material nature. Jadavadhi mamocheto Krishna padaro vinde. King Kulashekar is saying that ever since my heart, Mama Cheta, became attached to the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Mama Cheta Krishna Padara Vinde, lotus feet of Krishna. And then the thought of mundane sex life, just the thought of it makes my lips curl in disgust and I spit to the thought. That is the result. That taste is so divine, so wonderful, that one naturally becomes detached to material sense gratification. So Kumaras are saying the same thing here. That the only way one can become free from mundane attachment is simply by being attached to the lotus feet of Krishna through devotional service. Through devotional service. And so, but the thing is that this is the ultimate conclusion of the scriptures. There are many, many scriptures, as I was mentioning. Many scriptures are giving many, many directions, many, many instructions. Now the consideration is how to figure out what is the ultimate conclusion. And that is what he is giving. That after due consideration, conclusively it has been decided by the scriptures that the ultimate goal for the welfare of human society is detachment from the bodily concept of life and increased and steadfast attachment for the Supreme Lord. For the Supreme Lord. Unless and until we develop this attachment, we won't be able to give up this material attachment. And it is not going to happen just by theoretical understanding. We find even in our society, ISKCON, so many devotees have joined. They even had big position. They gave fantastic classes. But then they disappeared. Why? Because they didn't get the taste. Just by intellectual, even by studying scriptures is not going to happen. It is a matter of experiencing inside. Developing the loving relationship. So we have to be very, very careful. We found this process of devotional service, but that's not the goal. That's not the ultimate goal. This is the method, this is the process. And the goal we have to traverse in that path. We have to move in this path and then find the goal. Because unless and until this param drishtva, unless and until you get the higher taste, it's not going to be possible to give up the lower taste. Like Jai Shri Shri Prahlad Nrsimha Dev ki Jai. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan ki Jai. Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki Jai. Shri Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani ki Jai. Shri Shri Gaur Nitai ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari. So we have to be very, very careful that we do not slip away. And that is the process, that is that we have to sincerely practice the process. And the process is, as Prabhupada is time and time he is reminding, Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu, Smaranam. Shravanam, we have to hear. If we don't develop the taste for hearing, then it won't work. First is hearing, and then chanting, then remembering. We hear, then we preach, we speak what we heard. And that is Kirtanam. Karnarandhra pathodiya hridimaje praveshiya borishoy sudha anupam. Shravanam. What is Shravanam? Through the passage of our ear hole, this wonderful narration of the Supreme Personality of Godhead enters into the region of our heart. Hridimaje praveshiya borishoy sudha anupam. There it showers and unique nectar, Shuddha Anupam. So that is the meaning of Shravan. And then Kirtanam. Then this holy name rises from the depth of our heart. Hriday hoite bole, Hriday hoite from the heart. Jubhar agrete chale, comes to the tip of our tongue. And it starts to dance as the holy name of the Lord. So this is the process. Proper application will generate desired result. So at least we know that what the ultimate conclusion of the scriptures is. The ultimate conclusion of the scripture is to become attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So unless and until the scripture brings us to that point, the goal is not achieved. There are scriptures that are speaking about Karma Kanda section of the Veda, speaking about Karma Kanda. What the Karma Kanda is doing, Karma Kanda is telling us how to enjoy in this material nature. People, those who are in the bodily concept of life, they want to enjoy, and the Vedas are saying how to enjoy. Oh, you want to enjoy? Enjoy in this way. This is the way to enjoy. Yes, go ahead, enjoy. But go ahead and enjoy will lead to what? It actually leads to go ahead and suffer. That is the instruction of the Vedas. Not go ahead and enjoy, but go ahead and suffer. Go ahead and suffer. You want to enjoy, but what will you get is suffering. Now go through that. And then fortunately when one realizes that, then Jnana Kanda. Why am I suffering? Why am I suffering? I don't want to suffer. And that is leading to, ultimately, to liberation. Oh, this is a place of suffering. As long as I am here, I have to suffer. No matter wherever I am, whether in the heavenly planet, whether in even higher planetary systems, even the position of Brahma in Satyaloka, topmost region of the material nature, there is suffering. Suffering cannot be avoided. Material nature means place of suffering. Whether we go to the highest planetary system or the lowest planetary system, the suffering is there. The degree of suffering decreases when one goes to the higher planetary systems. And the degree of suffering increases as one goes to the lower planetary systems. But the suffering is there, always. So that is what one has to understand. That's why he's saying that one has to become free from the bodily concept of life. Because as long as we remain in the bodily concept of life, that means as long as we want to enjoy through this body. As long as we want to enjoy through this body, we cannot avoid suffering. So, when we realize that there is a place of suffering, then there is a consideration of how can we get out of here? How can we get out of here? And then that leads to the ultimate point. How can we get out of here? And the process that has been given in the ultimate conclusion of the scriptures like Srimad Bhagavatam, the get out of this world is very easy. Very easy. Just surrender unto Krishna. So easy. Just surrender. Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam braja. Aham tvang sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Krishna is giving that assurance. The suffering is due to sinful activities. Due to sinful activities, we suffer. And Krishna says, no more sinful activities when you surrender. That means no more suffering. So that is how easy it is. Just surrender unto Krishna and become free from the suffering condition. Krishna is saying, Ma suchaha, don't worry about it. Why he is saying don't worry about it? Because he is actually indicating not only you will be free from your suffering condition, but you will be drowned in an ocean of joy. Suffering condition will not only be eradicated, but you will be submerged in an ocean of ecstasy, ocean of joy. So don't worry about it, just surrender. Just surrender. But the point is, surrender is not easy. The process of becoming free from this material suffering condition is easy. But in order to do that, we have to surrender. But surrender is not easy. Why surrendering is not easy? Because of our false ego. Our false ego, although we are just offering obeisances to the Lord, although we are offering prayers to Him, that I am surrendering myself to you, I am offering obeisances to you, but in the heart it is not happening. It's not happening because of false ego. Why should I surrender? I can enjoy, I can control, I can lord over. That tendency, that is the problem. The difficult part is to get rid of the false ego. Therefore Mahaprabhu's instruction, that surrender, trinadopi sunichena taruriva sahishnana. Become more humble than a blade of grass. That is the key to that, achieving that goal. Unless and until we become humble, that means unless and until we get rid of our false ego, we won't be able to surrender. So that's what we have to cultivate. We find in course of our day-to-day activities, So difficult. Even devotees who have been practicing Krishna consciousness for so many years, rather instead of becoming humble, they become more and more proud. I am such a great devotee. I have such a big position. I have so many followers. But the result is, if you harbor that attitude, or you have maintained that attitude, we won't be able to get the taste of Krishna Prem. We won't be able to surrender. So, anyway, I'm just discussing about this topic because this is relevant to the topic that we are going to discuss through Brihad Bhagavatamrita seminar. So that will teach us, that will show us what does it mean to become a devotee. How can one become a devotee? What kind of a attitude we have to develop in order to become a devotee. So that is what we have to understand, and that's why this arrangement. Anyway, so we'll have our discussions, our topics, our seminars. So the point that I was trying to make here, that of all the scriptures, Srimad Bhagavatam is the topmost. And this Bhagavatam is showing us the way to become surrendered to Krishna. Bhagavatam is teaching us who is Krishna and what devotion to Krishna means. How can we become a devotee of Krishna? So all these have been so wonderfully demonstrated in Srimad Bhagavatam. That's why Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching on the basis of Srimad Bhagavatam. All Mahaprabhu's teachings is just based on Srimad Bhagavatam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhur matamidam tatradaro naparoho. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Does anybody have any question? Yeah, practice the process that Srila Prabhupada has given in the arrangement that Srila Prabhupada made. That is, stay in ISKCON and practice the process. It will happen. If you go to the right class, right university, and if you follow the teachings of that university, at the end of the class, at the end of the session, you will master the subject if you study properly, isn't it? The institutions are there to educate properly about the topic, about the subject. So the institution of ISKCON is there to teach you this topic of devotion, how to become a devotee. So stay in ISKCON, practice the process, attend the classes in the association of other devotees. The students are there in the class, teachers are there. So follow the process, it will happen. And by nature's arrangement also it will happen. You see, false ego and mode of passion have a very close link. Mode of passion and false ego, they are like husband and wife. So, so as long as mode of passion is there, it's very difficult to get rid of false ego. Like tada rajastamo bhava kamo lobho dayaschaji. That kamo lobho dayaschaji. Due to the mode of rajo stamo bhava. Due to the more influence of passion and ignorance, lust, greed, anger, etc. develop in the heart. Kama, lobha, dayaschaji. But cheto etoir anabiddham stitang shatte prasidati. When one becomes free from the influence of mode of passion and comes into mode of goodness, then only he becomes eligible to practice devotional service. Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha. So we have to be freed from the influence of mode of passion and ignorance, come to the mode of goodness. Now, as I was saying, it will happen if we remain in the process, practicing the process. By following the process, we'll be able to become free from the influence of passion and ignorance, provided we follow the process properly. Another way is, as the body becomes old, the mode of passion also will start to decrease. You see, when one is young, passion is very, very powerful, very strong. But when you grow old, the passion also diminishes. So I will say, grow old in ISKCON and die in ISKCON. So it will happen in course of time. But the point is, practice the process properly. Yes? Take the mic. Steadfast means steady, fixed. Fixed up. All right. Okay, there is a question from the internet. Radhika Raman Das. Who suffers? Is it body or soul? You see, so the suffering, the concept of suffering comes from the consciousness. Like when you are unconscious, do you suffer? Say the body is unconscious due to anesthetics, and the surgeon is cutting open the body. Do you feel that? Why not? Because the consciousness is not there. The consciousness is not flowing through the body. Therefore, there is no feeling of suffering. So this consciousness, when it is projected to the body, and through the body, this experience of suffering is there. Like for example, somebody is cutting my hand with a knife. How will I feel? I'll feel pain. Why? Because the consciousness is flowing through the body. And because my consciousness is in the body and the body is experiencing that cut, therefore the mind is registering the inner sense, the feeling the pain. So, as you asked, who experiences the suffering, body or the soul? The answer is, it is through the body that the soul experiences the suffering condition. It is the soul that is experiencing because the consciousness is coming from the soul. The consciousness is my consciousness. But because my consciousness is flowing through the body, when there is suffering through the body, I am suffering. But when the consciousness is projected to Krishna, then is there any consciousness of the body? So no suffering. Even though the body may go through various kinds of suffering, apparently. But we don't register, just like we're under anesthetics, a patient doesn't feel how the surgeon is cutting him open. Okay, thank you very much. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari.
Bhakti Charu Swami
Please.
Maharaja ki.
I forbid Udayananda Prabhu from saying that anymore. He'll be fined if he does that.
All right, I'll take it back.
Hare Krishna. I beg you, please. That is a fine. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.